Well, of course, the beauty of the Olympic Games is that every 4 years it does come to a new city, and every city brings something new to the Games.
I started my Olympic investigation in London by signing up to a venue tour. Joining a growing group of inquisitive tourists, we walked through a strange mix of canals, disused buildings and refurbished cottages, occasionally getting glimpses of the Olympic venues in the distance. The tour finished with a panorama of the Olympic Park, still very much a building site. The tour guide assured her followers everything would be finished by July. In a tall building on Canary Wharf, with views over London to the Olympic Park in the distance, I met with Chief Executive for the London Organising Committee, Paul Dayton, and asked him how they've organised the venues for the 2012 Olympics.
We have some wonderful new venues in a brand new Olympic Park, building on the tradition of great parks in London. So now we have the Queen Elizabeth Olympic Park alongside Hyde Park, Greenwich Park, St James's Park, so that's a great new addition. But we're also, of course, using venues which are world famous for their sport, like Wembley for the soccer, Wimbledon for the tennis, and then we're taking advantage of some of the most beautiful parts of London for temporary venues. You know, Hyde Park for the triathlon and the marathon swim, Greenwich Park for the equestrian events. So the Games will allow us to show off many different but very beautiful parts of the city as well.
The venues can be broadly divided into three: the Olympic Park, London, and outside London. The Olympic Park will house 9 sites. At the centre is the Olympic Stadium, where the athletics and opening and closing ceremonies will take place. It took 3 years to construct, with an ongoing controversy over what will happen to it after the Games have finished. The Aquatic Centre will host swimming, diving, synchronised swimming and modern pentathlon. While building its 160-metre-long wave-shaped structure, 4 skeletons had to be removed from a prehistoric settlement discovered on the site. The velodrome, where Britain hopes to secure a good haul of medals, has 250 metres of track, laid down by a team of 26 specialist carpenters. The copper box, where handball and goalball will take place, has 88 rooftop sun pipes to allow the field to be naturally lit. The 35-metre-tall basketball arena has some similarities with the Beijing water cube, but is only a temporary structure and will be removed after the Games. A brightly coloured hockey arena and a futuristic BMX track will also be inside the park. London is using a few of its most famous landmarks to provide a backdrop to some of the more public events. Cyclists and marathon runners will finish their long-distance races sprinting down the Mall with Buckingham Palace behind. Hampton Court, the extravagant palace of King Henry VIII, will play host to the cycle time trials, while the beach volleyball will take place on Horse Guards Parade, just behind Whitehall, that leads to Downing Street and the Houses of Parliament. Hyde Park will host the marathon swim and triathlon, and some of the football will be played at Wembley Stadium. Outside London, sites are spread throughout England, Wales and Scotland, from the Lee Valley Whitewater Centre just 30 kilometres north of the Olympic Park to Hampden Park Football Stadium in Glasgow, Scotland. Before leaving Paul Dayton to get on with getting everything ready for July, I asked him one last question. Which was his favourite venue?
Yeah, I mean, everybody has a favourite in the Olympic Park. I mean, my particular favourite is actually the Velodrome, which I think is a beautiful building. I think it's my favourite because we just held a test event there. But the venue itself is absolutely beautiful. The shape of the outside mirrors the shape of the velodrome on the inside. So it's my particular favourite at the moment.
This is DJ Clark in London, UK, for China Daily.